Guys, it's Becky with Design Bundles, and today I'm super excited to share with you another great tutorial in Silhouette Studio, because it's my favorite, and we are going to talk about making distressed designs. Now, you guys may already know where to buy distressed designs, or distressed fonts for that matter, but what happens when you want a design and you want to distress it, but you can't find the perfect image for you? That's okay, because we have the answer, and it is super duper easy. So let's go ahead and jump on over to Silhouette Studio and we'll get started.
Okay guys, so here we are in Silhouette Studio, and I have a distressed background image here, and then I also have 3 files for us to play with today. And the distressed background came over as an SVG file, and of course I've linked that for you below so that you can grab a copy for yourself if you'd like. But I just like to point that out because if you're working with a distressed background that is a PNG or JPEG, then you would need to trace that design first. But this is an SVG, and that's why I picked it, because it is super duper easy. So let's go ahead and start with our heart because it is the easiest of the 3 designs. The heart is behind the distressed background image. And that's important because we are going to be manipulating this design with the modify panel. And with the modify panel and the features that are there, it does make a difference on which layer is on top. All right, but this is super easy. So I have lined these up, and you do kind of want to pay attention to where your heart and your distressing takes place. And I'm going to create a duplicate of my distressed background. That way I can use it again, because once we use the modify panel, it's going to disappear. So what I've done is I've selected both of these, the heart and the distressed image, and I will just use subtract and watch what that does. And there we go. That is literally how easy it is. Now, if you look real close, you'll see that you have some of these little teeny tiny pieces laying around. And if you want to keep those, you can use the group feature and group all those together. But just be prepared that small tiny pieces like that, you'll probably lose in the weeding process. So that's completely up to you. All right, and then we will go with our next project, which is going to be this pumpkin. And with the pumpkin, what I want to show you guys is that we are going to ungroup this and then distress. I'm not going to distress the leaf, the vine, or the stem. So I'm just going to line these up and get it exactly where I want it to go. And then I'm clicking on the stem to select my pumpkin, and I'm just going to ungroup it. Now what that's going to do is it lets me move my stem if I want to, and I can move the leaf if I want to. I don't want to, but then my pumpkin is all one piece. So I want to do the same thing. I'm going to use my drag box. I'm going to click my mouse and hold it down, and I'm going to select the background and the pumpkin. I'm going to come over to the modify panel, and once again I'm going to subtract. And then I can go ahead and group that back together, and now I can regroup my entire design. That way I have the distressed pumpkin, but I didn't necessarily have to distress the leaf and the stem. So let's move that one out of the way. And now we're going to apply the same concept, but the idea that I want to give you for this one is that we are going to distress just those blue stripes. Okay, so let's move this over. Now all I'm doing is watching those blue stripes, and I can do the same thing. I can ungroup. Let's slide them down just a little bit. There we go. So ungroup, and then on my blue stripes, I can just click on those, hold down my shift key, and select on the background, and we're still going to do the same process and hit subtract, and then regroup the entire design. Now, you may be asking, Becky, why do I want to make parts of these images distressed and not the entire image? Well, it's completely up to you. Like, for example, we use this heart. Okay, and I really like, distressed images. They can be a pain to weed sometimes, but I just think that they're pretty cool, and they add character and they add texture to your design. Now, in this case, we distress the background, and you can even cut this background in different colors. And a lot of times it gives it more of like a sunset look, or something along those lines. Same thing with the pumpkin. When you get pumpkins from the store, a lot of times the pumpkin rind, it has scratches, or maybe it's beat up a little bit. So adding that extra texture on here can really make a difference in my opinion. And then it depends on your personal taste. But, these are just 3 really simple ways that you can add that character and that texture to either a new design or maybe even a design that you're already working with.
So it was easy, right? I told you it was going to be easy. It is a very easy tutorial and a very easy process, and it really adds a lot of character to your designs, given the right circumstances. Now, of course, if you have any questions or you just want to say hi, you can leave that in the comments below. And always make sure you subscribe to the channel, just because we always have a lot of really great stuff coming for you right around the corner. So I appreciate you watching today, and we will see you again next time.